Sit up. Many of y'all, when y'all come in here, you know you got a little problem with drugs and alcohol. Just don't know what it is. If somebody asked you, how do you solve a problem? What would you say? How do you solve problems? You know, huh? Well, do you know?
Try to find the food.
Huh?
Try to find the food.
Well, you ain't far off. Fucking shocking. What's your first name? Tyler. How old are you? About 7?
19.
Same thing. 19 and 7 is the same thing. Where are you from?
Really?
Okay, what you use? Okay, how? Fentanyl? How you using it? Okay. How many of y'all, when y'all come in here, your little drug and alcohol problem that you got? Know you sort of got a problem, you just don't know what the hell it actually is. So how many of y'all have come up with a bunch of cockamamie ass solutions? If you show me an alcoholic, I'll show you somebody who's tried buku solutions to a problem they really do not understand. Now, basic problem solving. If you've been here for any length of time, like a week or more, you should be able to start spitting this shit out like that. Now, I guarantee you, if I would have told you about 2 months ago, what were you using? 2 months ago, if I'd have said, hey, I'm fixing to tell you where a shitload of meth is. But you can't write it down. You gotta listen to me, but I'm gonna tell you where shit's at. You would have listened to everything I had to say. And when I said, hey, tell it back to me. Just like that, huh? Why? Why? Because that's what you want, right? Well, okay. That's a good answer. If you really want this, you come in here and we start talking to you about stuff, you won't have to write it down. And whenever we ask you a question, you can pop it off just like that. Now, there's 3 things we're going to try to get across to you. Problem, the solution to the problem, and a plan of action that you can take that will get you out of the problem into the solution. Now, those 3 pieces to the puzzle. Problem, solution, plan of action. If you put those 3 pieces to the puzzle together, you can solve any problem. I don't care what it is. It could be cancer. It could be plumbing. It could be your relationship, finances, basic problem solving. 3 pieces to the puzzle. Problem, solution, those 3 things. You apply them to any problem, you can solve that problem. Now, how many of y'all would say cancer is a problem in our society today? I would. Now, have they ever come up with a surefire 100% solution to cancer? No, they have not. I can tell you they haven't. Most people think the researchers don't really understand the solution yet, but that's really not true. Once the researchers identify the problem, guess what probably already exists? And then they can write a treatment plan or a plan of action that somebody could take that would get them out of the problem into the solution. But everything hinges on understanding the problem. You don't understand the problem, The solution you come up with will be wrong. The action you take will be wrong. You'll never get into the solution and you'll stay stuck in. Now, what were you using? Your favorite thing? Okay. And you've tried a bunch of solutions, huh? Give me some of yours. Not the program, that's not yours. Some of yours. Okay. So she said cutting back, complete abstinence, like the fucking Nancy Reagan program. Just say no. How many of y'all have tried some of that? Okay, up here, up here. How many of y'all have just tried up here? Ooh, they just walking. How many of y'all have tried just to put it down and not pick it back up? How many of y'all have tried down? How many of y'all have tried moving? How many of y'all have tried changing friends? How many of y'all have come to treatment centers? Now, everything that you come up with on your own, if it would have worked, you wouldn't be sitting in here. Now, I don't know about you, but the more that I tried to solve that little drug and alcohol problem on my own, the worse it got. Never got better, it always got worse. Now, how many of y'all will do this? You will take 2 or 3 steps forward, about 10 back. You'll regroup, take 2 or 3 forward, then about 20 back. And in your little sick mind, all you can see is the couple of steps you're taking forward. But if you add shit up, your ass is going backwards. And people that can see it tell you, they go, "What are you doing?" And you go, "Nothing. What are you doing?" You never want it on you. Now, the 3 things we're going to try to get across to you in here. And I'm telling you, just a minute, I'm fixing to ask some real basic questions. And if you can't answer them, we're going to have a big problem. So if I was you, I would really listen this morning. Problem? Now, the whole Society of Alcoholics Anonymous, the whole program, the whole taproot, that's the main root, has been built on the foundation. Step 1, the problem. And once somebody can see the problem, you will not have to coerce them into seeking, because they will want to. But if they never see the problem, you will have to try to babysit them to do the goddamn solution. Now, when I really understood the problem, I went, I'm screwed. I am 100% screwed, because I'm going to keep using, and in the process, I'm going to destroy myself. See, how many of y'all upstairs, this thing keeps telling you to put the first one in. And no matter what you say, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, you always pick it back up. And once you put it in, the physical part ensures you destroy yourself in the process. Now, how many of y'all in here, you know you got a problem, but you really don't understand it, nor do some of y'all want to? Now, the mind, it's a marvelous mechanism, and it can catapult you into some success or turn around and destroy your ass from the inside out. Now, how many of y'all have been taking this marvelous mechanism and it's been destroying you? You are your own worst enemy. And nobody screws you over more than you screw yourself over. Now, if you would quit blaming everybody else and start blaming yourself, you might be ready to start doing something. Now, the steps are laid out in sequence. See, if you notice, they have numbers on them. And watch this shit. They put them in red. See? And it goes from 1 to 12. There's like 12 of the damn thing. See? Now, the way the steps are laid out, you got to sort of understand that. In step 1, they give you the problem. In step 2, wake up. They offer you a solution. And in step 3, they tell you decide which one you want more. Now, problem. Now, we're going to put that up here this morning. We're going to lay some real simple, basic stuff out for you so you can sort of start doing some groundwork. Now, without this information, okay, what you've been doing is largely going on theories, yours. Now, I like to operate in facts today. Now, it's a fact. What you're doing ain't fucking working. Unless, when you were in kindergarten, physically, did you stand up and tell the class, hey, when I grow up, I want to be a patient at Woodlake? You didn't say that, huh? Now, guess what you are? Yeah. So you know what I would tell you? What you doing ain't working. Now, if you would have just told me I did stand up and tell the class I wanted to be a patient at Woodlake when I grew up, you know what I'd tell you? No, I'd say don't change a fucking thing, it's working. But you didn't say that, did you? So what you're doing is not working. Is that where you wanted to end up here? Fucking with me? No. Did you? And how many of y'all in here, you try to get somewhere different by doing the same thing? If you had a road map and that sumbitch was marked out for you from Denham Springs to Massachusetts, where them fucking Yankees live. And every time you followed that same map that was laid out for you, you would end up in. Now, let's say you wanted to go to California, but you kept following the same path. Where would you keep ending up? See, a lot of y'all want to go to California, but you keep following the same road map, ending up in where you really don't want to be. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep ending up places you don't want, with people you don't want to be with, and you got to stay longer than you want to stay. Now, what we're going to do this morning, real basic, simple shit. Problem,
Solution, plan of action.
Now, how many of y'all sitting in here, you've heard this over and over and over and over? And some of y'all can pop it off like that, and somebody sitting right next to you who's heard it as many times as you have, you ask them a question, they go, what? What did you say? Now, why is it two people come in here at the same time, get the same shit, the same information at the same time, one of them gets it and one don't? Say that again? Bingo. That's not a fucking dog. How many of y'all in here? How many of y'all in here? Some of y'all want this and you get it, and some of you don't want it and you get it. It just ain't what you want. Now, step one. What they do is they identify the problem. Now, alcoholics like me, Once I sort of identified a problem, a couple of things occurred to me. And one of the things that occurred to me was why none of my solutions ever worked. Once I understood the problem, I went, well, that's why that fucking wouldn't work. See, how many of y'all like me, you've tried just about every damn thing except that shit? See, how many of y'all do everything in the world so you really don't have to do this? That's why you come up with solutions. Look, how many of y'all, when y'all first started using, said, you know, fuck, I'm gonna put this shit in my body because I know I'm going to treatment one day. See, you put that shit in, and things start going south, and you try everything not to come here. And everything you try, it always makes it work every time. Now, there's two things you got going on. One of them's physical, and one of them is mental. Now, if you're an alcoholic like me, you get the physical part. It's real easy to get that part. And what they do is they refer to the physical part as an allergy. Now, an allergy is an abnormal reaction to any chemical, food, or substance. Now, in order for you to see if you have an abnormal reaction, you got to fucking know what a normal reaction is. Now, I got a sister who's normal. If she took a glass, if she took a glass of whiskey with this much in it, and she took a sip of it would start to make her dizzy. And she would have a sense of being out of control. And she would go, I don't want no more of that. And it would start, if she took a second sip, it'd start to make her nauseated. Now, that's a normal reaction to a chemical called alcohol. Now, that shit didn't happen with me. See, when I put that shit in me, I got a sense of being in control. And I didn't get dizzy. And if I got nauseated, I put another one on fucking top of it real quick to keep it down. Now, that's an abnormal reaction. Now, I want you to check this out. I ran around and drank and drugged with a bunch of abnormal people like me. So abnormal had become normal. And I would look at normal people like my sister, and I would think she was abnormal. See, I used to look at people who would drink one or two, and I'd go, what the fuck is wrong with them? They can't handle their liquor. They're lightweights. See, how many of us, we say that kind of stuff? When actually, she was handling her liquor exactly like you are supposed to. You know who couldn't handle it? We are so ass backwards, we think people who have their shit together are fucked up. And people who are fucked up, we think they have their shit together. It's crazy to watch one of us. But when one of us finally sees it, we go, what in the hell was I doing? How did I ever think that would work? Now, that same sister, if she took a Loratab, a whole fucking Loratab, and ate it, she would throw up. She would get sick and nauseated. That would be a normal reaction. Now, how many of y'all, if y'all ate one, y'all would go, well, what about these other 10? And when you ate them, when the eating wasn't doing no good, you'd go, well, I think you could snort these someday. You know, they put that coat on them, so you know, fuck, you gotta snort them. And when that quits working, you go, fuck, I think you smoke. Now, what kind of fucking normal person would think about smoking a pill? We laugh at that, but normal people would look at us and go, what in the fuck is wrong with you? But how many of y'all in here, sort of like me, you've ran around and used and drank with a bunch of abnormal people like yourself? So abnormal has become, now, if you can sort of understand what's normal and abnormal, normal means, watch this shit, what? Doing one. Or how many of y'all are horrible at just doing one? And you're more horrible at doing none. See, where you're at right now, how many of y'all can do absolutely none? Well, wait a minute. Let me rephrase that. You gotta be real specific with fucking y'all. How many of y'all left here right now, as you are, and did nothing we told you, okay, could do none? That's why you're here. And how many of y'all, if we gave you your favorite thing, a shit pile of it, you could do just one? See, you can't do none because this thing got you, and you can't do one because of that. Now, the physical part, if you're an alcoholic, you get this part like that. Every time I dump the first one in me, this allergy they tell me I have, it kicks it off. And the way it kicks it off is it produces a physical craving. Now, I can remember one of the first times they suggested to me, hey, Kevin, you have an allergy to alcohol. This is what I said. The fuck I do. I'm drinking about a gallon of that shit a day. There's no way I could be allergic to it. See, how many of y'all, when we suggest you have this allergy, you go, no, I don't. Or y'all over here go, that's bullshit. Because you really don't understand what they're talking about, like I did. Now, most allergies, the way they manifest themselves is external. If you're allergic to something and you put it in the system, you would break out in hives and rashes. Is that an allergy? It is. But other allergies, they manifest themselves internally. Who's allergic to seafood? Anybody? Okay. When you eat seafood, do you break out in hives and rashes? Huh? Okay. And inside, does your throat swell up? So it goes both ways, huh? See, an allergy can manifest itself externally. It can manifest itself externally and now, the allergy that I have to alcohol, it manifests itself internally. When I put that shit in me, I don't break out on the outside. I break out on the inside, and then I break in some other shit. Now, this is the way you can tell if you have the allergy or you don't. Pick your favorite thing which you've been using. What is it? Favorite thing? No, thing. Look, that's fucking one. Okay. What's yours? What's yours? What's yours? What's yours? What's yours? What's yours? Whatever it is, I want you to picture a shit pile of it in front of you. Now, if I told you, hey, do one, and let's give the rest to charity. What would you say?
Absolutely not.
Now, if I said, let's do one, and do none after that. And it's sitting right by your bed, next to your bed. Could you do one and go about your business? Could you? Could you? Could you? What happens every time you put one in? Do you set that off? And does your body crave a second one? Now, how many of y'all, what are y'all doing back there? Look, I want you to listen to me, okay? Look at me. You've done this before, where you sat and just went through the motions and we know what happened, right? Right? Can't do that this time. See? I won't let you because when you checked in here, they put your life in my hands. Now, how many of y'all, every time you put that first one in, it's pretty much a wrap? Physical part got you by. Now, one of the ways that I get people to sort of see about the physical part of this thing. What's your first name?
Lane,
Lane. What were you using?
crack cocaine.
Okay. If you had a big old cookie about like that, okay, about this thick. You with me? I'll say you are. with two good hitters, with some fresh burnt charbroil in them, packed just right. You with me? With two good lighters, with the metal clip off, where you could adjust it up about like that. Could you put you one hit on it and melt it and hit it? Put the cookie in the refrigerator and go about your business for a month.
Nope.
There's no way, honey. Once you hit the first one, what would you want?
Another one.
Yeah. Because when you hit the first one, your body craves second. Now, us good crackheads, we have a saying that one's too many and 1,000. I knew you'd know that. Look, see, look, one's too many because it sets off, and 1,000 ain't enough because you can never satisfy the craving. Now, how many of y'all, it doesn't matter what you use, liquid, powder, pill, rock, you put the first one in, it's pretty much a wrap. Now, do you have this physical allergy? You know, I got a friend of mine, he don't have this. And we would all pitch in on a Friday afternoon and we'd buy us a big old cookie about like that, and about 4 or 5 cases of Budweiser and start playing cards and shit. After about 2 hits and 2 beers, he would say, I'm going to bed. And I would say, why? He'd say, I got to go to work in the morning. I went, why? And I would look at him as being abnormal. Like, what's he doing? Now, in the morning, about 5 a.m., when I'm coming back in from another run, he's going out to work, the door to go to work, and we would pass each other. I'd go, where you going? What I got? He go, I'm going to work. I went, why? See, how many of y'all, you look at somebody normal like that, like something's wrong with them. Now, I could just imagine what he thought driving to work about me. He was probably going, well, I guess I better start looking for another roommate. And if he did, I would get mad at him. You know, how many of y'all listened to that story and you laughed at it or you went, golly? But if you took me out, put you in, took crack out and put, the story would fit you exactly, wouldn't it? See, how many of y'all go, I don't smoke crack, I just drink gallons of vodka. Or how many of y'all go, well, I don't shoot no dope needles in my arm, I just eat pills. See, how many of y'all try to separate yourself from what you actually fucking got? Now, if you have this allergy, okay, this is a progressive illness. It never gets, it actually gets worse. Now, when you say that, when that was first said to me, I go, well, what's the fucking point of treatment then? If I'm gonna get worse. I'm gonna get worse here. If I do something here, I don't have to worry about here. It's sort of like I can knock two things out with one stone. I mean rock. A stone. Now, if I can take care of this, I actually solve both of them. Now, 21 years and some change, I have not put this in. That right there, the whole time I've been sober, has been getting worse. The older I get, the worse the allergy gets. Now, if I left here today and I stopped and bought a Budweiser and drank one, guess what I would set off? Guess what it would produce? Now, I wouldn't pick up where I left off 21 years ago. I would pick up like I had been using the whole time. Because the whole time I've been sober, that's been getting worse. So if I put one in today, East Baton Rouge, Point Capee, Iberville, Livingston, Angibaho, and all surrounding fucking parishes, better watch out. Because it wouldn't be nice. And everything I've accumulated, I would lose in a matter of months, maybe. Because that physical allergy has been getting worse the whole time. Now, if I stay right here, I ain't got to worry about here. And the ones of us that get it, that's what we really see. And we never let up off the pedal. We actually, the longer we stay sober, we put the pedal to the metal even more. I got to be more willing to do this today than you are. Seeing what most of y'all do, the longer y'all stay sober, you let off the pedal. Because you think, I got this. Shit's going great. People that really get this get the solution. People who just sort of halfway get it, look, any fucking jackass in the world can repeat these two things. Just because you repeat them, does it mean that you really understand them? I could get a parakeet up here, and I can teach it how to say, I have a mental obsession with a physical allergy. Because that parakeet can repeat it, does it mean that the parakeet has an obsession and an allergy? It just fucking means he can repeat it. You got to be able to take this information, these facts, and apply them to you. To you. Not everybody else, because we ain't talking about everybody else. We're talking about you. Now, how many of y'all, the obsession has got you, and it ain't letting go? How many times have you swore up and down you were done? I'm not. And this bitch gets you every time. And it says, it don't say you fixing to end up on one of these, does it? It just says you fixing to get some relief, huh? Now, at that time when this thing's working on you, you need some relief, don't you? So does this thing say you fixing to get some relief? Yeah. And when you put the first one in, do you get relief? Fuck yeah. But then you set this bitch off. See, this don't tell you this is where you ended up. All it tells you is, got you again. Look, a lot of people would ask me, why do you keep putting that shit in? And I would go, fuck, I don't know. If normal people knew what the first one did for us, you know what they'd quit asking us? Right. If they knew what we got from the first one, they wouldn't say, why do you keep doing that? But see, normal people, they don't know what we get from the first one. Now, if you could do one, see, and enjoy it, besides it being against the law for some of us, I don't see nothing wrong with it. But you can't do one yet, can you? Can you?
No.
Can you? Can you? So if you can't do none, I mean one, the best thing for you is to do none. Now, we know the way you are right now, you can't do just one because of the allergy, and you can't do none because of. Now, how many of y'all in here, you go, that's simple. That's simple. Just don't do none. So all through treatment, you just go through the motions. And you don't really do the work that we ask you to do in here. Because you still haven't really understood. You got this part, but what you really didn't understand, that part. Look, I've been to treatment twice. The first time I went to treatment, I did not fucking want to be there. Now, I know none of y'all are like that. Now, I went to get people off my ass. I went to get a probation officer. I went to get parents, an ex-wife, and kids and siblings off of my ass. They were fucking hound dogging me. And they kept making threats. Wake up, sit up, sit up. They kept making threats to me. If you don't do what we say, we're going to start taking some shit away from you. Like your freedom, kids, you cannot come to our home ever again. Now, this is what I heard. This thing was on, they just fucking trying to scare me. They ain't really going to do that. See, how many of y'all people have been threatening you and threatening you and threatening you, you think, well, they're not going to do that. Now, the first time through treatment, I needed a completion certificate. So I could take it back to them and say, here, I did what y'all wanted. Leave me the hell alone. So when it came time to following the rules of the treatment center, I broke none of them. But when it came time to do this, I did none of them. I get the certificate. I bring it back to them. I said, look, I did what y'all wanted. Leave me the fuck alone. Now, for about 6 months, the goose hung high. I was going to meetings because I had to keep the charade up. About the 6-month mark, that thing, it got through again. And I put the first one in. When I came up for air about a week later, all those people found out and they did exactly they said they were going to do. Now, the first time I went through, I listened. I understood about the instincts. I got all of that. And when I left that treatment center and started doing the same shit I did before, the difference this time was I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was doing to people. And every time I would put this in, I would go, ain't gonna fucking be enough. And I didn't say it jokingly. I went, fuck. They didn't make enough. to blot out the consciousness of my intolerable situation. And I tried. And it's like the more I put in, the more sober I got. And I was like, fuck. 2 years. I want you to listen to this. When I went to treatment the first time, I still had a nice home, nice car, nice clothes. I hadn't been in jail that long for that much at that point. Now, I went to treatment at 39 that first time. 37 the first time. And I can maintain up to that point. Coming out of that center after the first time, I didn't realize it at the time, but they fucked me up. And in 2 short years, I lost. When I got back to that treatment center, the same one the second time, I didn't go for nobody. There wasn't nobody left to go for. Parents, siblings, kids, couldn't have nothing to do with them. How many of y'all think people are fucking joking with y'all? They keep telling you that kind of shit. Or you go, yeah, but I'm pretty good at that. I fuck food, but I ain't even done that. What's telling you that is this. This is telling you you're fixing to take a chance on losing your children forever. That's what this is telling you. This is telling you you're fixing to take a gamble on 10 to 15. That's how hard this thing's got you. But you come in here, one of the best places you could ever be. And I look at some of y'all, and y'all ain't no more fucking interested in this than a man on the moon. And I go, God, they just have no idea what's fixing to happen. Have none. And some of y'all do listen and you sort of get it. Some of y'all, it's taken a while. Now, obsession or without it. If I got these two things together, what they render me powerless. How many of y'all been to treatment before? Not with us. Not with us. You know, it's getting better, but a lot of treatment centers never tell you these two things. They never tell you this. Do y'all have any idea? Look, I don't work on fucking commission. Do y'all have any idea where y'all are sitting? If you did, I wouldn't have to tell you to wake up. I wouldn't have to tell you, hey, come on, man. Come on, what are you doing? I wouldn't have to tell you none of that shit. If you had any idea where you sit. Now, not only do we tell you this, we ram this. Now, click. How many times have you heard this and that? How many times have you pursued this like your life and your family depends on it? Be honest, how many? Once. This time. Yeah, I don't buy that. How long did you stay sober? Why'd you stop? If your family's life and yours depended on it.
I stopped, but I tried it again.
Look, I want you to look up here. How many of y'all, when we explain this to you, this fucking thing starts working again? And you go, No. I'm gonna take some of what they say in their solution, and I'm gonna combine it with what I know works. If you're entertaining anything like that, this is what you're gonna get. Bang! That's it, it's over with. Just a matter of time what's fixing to happen. And you just don't strike me as the kind that would fare too well in the penitentiary. They laughing, but some of them are my same thing. Have you ever been locked up? How long? No, that was in the Where? Wash any drawers? Huh? Huh? How many of y'all in here? How many of y'all in here? When I ask some questions like that, you think that'll never happen to you? How many of y'all? I want you to listen to this. When somebody leaves here, things really change. Whether you're doing it or you don't do it, things are going to change. They're going to change. But see, when somebody comes through here and they have this opportunity that God's given them and they don't do anything with it, He will start to drop some shit on you that Ajax won't take off. You know that?
Yeah.
And when you come up for air from some of them consequences, you're going to go, why didn't I listen to him? Why didn't I listen? How many of y'all think losing your kids and your freedom and your family and your job's not going to happen to you? Not this time. You keep going like you're going. It's coming. It's coming. And it's going to come when you least expect it. Because this thing's going to go. Now, let's say somebody leaves here like Clay. Stayed for how long? So, why do you think he used it? Why do you think? Don't nobody say nothing, all you geniuses that have heard it before. Why do you think he picked back up? Sorry? Why do you think?
So, he thought he could do it.
Sorry? What do you think?
Try to do it his own way, didn't work the programs.
That's why, right there. Now, I promise you, the whole time he was sober, this thing was telling him he had some shit that he really didn't have. And the shit that he really had, this was telling him he didn't have it. Now, when you got out of here last time, you went home? Who told you to do that? Clayt. Clayt and? Were you going to some meetings? Yeah. Were you working with a sponsor and doing 10, 11, and 12 like we suggested or how you suggested? No, you did it how y'all wanted you to do it. See, and look, the reason I'm making a point like that, because most of y'all, this is what y'all don't get. You get this. Look, you get this part. Any alcoholic gets this. But what most of y'all miss is that. Because look, you come in here, you're not using, you're getting information, you're starting to feel better, you're starting to think different, and you go, fucking big deal. Right. Yeah. And the whole time, is this telling you you got something that you don't have, and what you really got is convincing you ain't got it no more. Now, how do I know if I'm sort of doing what I'm supposed to do? I don't hear that little voice say, you know, you could do more. You know, you could do more. How many of y'all, if you were really honest with yourself, in here you could do more? Couldn't you? Couldn't you? How many of y'all, when y'all on y'all's own, got some downtime, your nose is in that book, studying the first 103 pages of it? That's not good. That's good. Fucking 3 of y'all out of what, 65 raised your damn hand. 3. And that's why the odds of some of y'all making it are not very good. I hate fucking statistics. Because every one of y'all in here could get this if you wanted it. Every single one of y'all. And if you don't get it, it ain't because of us. It's because of you. I tell people all the time, I've been blamed for helping people change their life, which is fucking false. I don't have that power. And I've been accused of getting a lot of people loaded, which is a fucking bigger lie. You come in here, and what separates us from most places, we give you facts. We don't give you a bunch of fiction. We give you facts. And you got to choose which facts you're going to start operating on. Now, how many of y'all have been operating on these facts right here? Which facts you been operating on? Those? Been drinking like a fish?
No, the last few times I get so sick of drinking, I actually just throw it in the bush.
That's because you fucking drink too much. But I can remember on one of those runs I was on, I'd been up for like days, and I got like an 8-ball left. I went, oh damn, I don't know what. I flushed that shit down the toilet. And about 2 hours later, I went, what did you do? But how many of us in here? This is the part that most of y'all miss. Now, let's talk about an obsession. An obsession is a thought or an idea that overrules everything. How many of y'all in here would love to go sell a long sentence in Angola? Would you? Would you? If things were fair for what you have been, what you've done, let's say you got caught for everything you did, where should you be? Yeah. So it's a good thing shit ain't fair, huh? Now, how many of y'all, this thing, every time it gets you, there's a chance. If things were fair, you'd never see the light of day again. Now, when the obsession kicks in, it's a thought or an idea that overrules. It'll overrule what I just told you, huh? That's got to be powerful to overrule your freedom, huh? Your freedom and your daughter, and your mama, and everything, huh? How many of y'all, when the obsession's got a hold of you, it's over with? It's a wrap. And you'll try to tell yourself, I'm not going to use. Yeah, you are. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. You could. You should. I will. And that's how this shit works. Sometimes it's just like this. Like, I am. There's no going back and forth. This thing is so unpredictable, it's predictable you'll use again. And it's got so much power over you as you. How many of y'all in here? You watch somebody that's in here and you know they full of shit. You know it. And you could spot it a mile away and you go, oh. How do you think your people feel about you? No, they go, damn.
Yeah.
They know you full of shit. They know it. You know, it's amazing to watch one of us try to convince somebody who knows we're full of shit that we're not. It's just amazing to watch one of us. And when they don't buy into it, how many of y'all do this shit? You go. Now, you may not do it exactly like that. Some of y'all do. But how many of y'all get mad when people don't buy into your lies? You don't even fucking believe them. But you want somebody else to believe them. And you said them over and over so many times, you actually start to believe your own lies. Now, how many of y'all getting, I'm trying to get something across to you. I want you to be real serious with yourself. How many of y'all going, okay, dude, we get the point. Okay. How many times you been in here? Yeah. How many of y'all are going, okay. Look, this shit right here, anything about it, you can't hear it enough. Because I'm telling you, when you get out of here, your chances of fucking up and pulling back out of it are real slim to none. Real slim to none. I'm telling you, when people start dropping the hammer on you like they said they were going to do, that's when you're going to go. I wish I would have listened. I wish I would have. Now, the solution. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. A little over 20 years I've been doing this. And I quit counting at about 20,000 of y'all. So I've seen a lot of them come and I've seen a lot of them go. I've seen people just fucking change their whole life around. And I've seen people who write me letters from, please help me. Now, how many of y'all in here? If I told you, hey, I got a little idea of what can help you, you would go, yeah. One of the biggest mistakes I see new people come in here and do is this. They come in here and they get all up in this shit. They come in here and they go to a bunch of these. How many of y'all have done that before? You've come out of a treatment center and you go to meetings. You know what's sort of telling you not to do the step, just go to meetings?
Yeah.
How many of y'all have ever heard this in a meeting? Meeting makers make it. I want you to listen to this shit. If you got this little thing right here, meeting fucking makers don't make it. Any of y'all have ever heard this? Keep coming back until the miracle happens. If you got this, and all you do is go to this, you're going to keep this. And you'll never have a spiritual awakening. What you're going to get is a rude fucking awakening. That's what you're going to get. Now, if I asked you this question, how many of y'all believe everybody in an AA meeting is a real alcoholic? How many of y'all would say yeah? How many of y'all would say, not really sure? Look, just because somebody in a meeting says, my name's fucking Jackass, I'm an alcoholic, don't assume they're a real alcoholic. Now, let's say little Johnny gets a brand new car, and his friend leaves a half of a roach in his ashtray. And Mommy Dearest finds it. And she says, if you don't go to some of those meetings, I'm going to take your car away. What the fuck you think little Johnny's going to do? He's going to go to them damn meetings. Now, when he goes to the meeting, he's going to sort of like what he hears. He's going to meet some other young guys and girls in there. He's going to like the camaraderie. So guess what little Johnny's going to do? Keep coming back. Now, does little Johnny, does he have to take the steps to stay sober? Huh?
No.
No, because he ain't really one of us.
Right.
Now, you take Fred. He goes to a Super Bowl party. He drinks 2 fucking beers. Look, 2. 2. He drives home. He gets pulled over. The cop smells alcohol on his breath. He goes in front of the judge. Judge says, hey, go to 90 meetings in 90 days and we'll wipe it clean. Guess what Fred's going to fucking do? He's going to come to the fellowship, to the meeting. He's going to like the camaraderie. He's going to like what he hears. He's going to keep coming. Does he have to do the steps to stay sober? No, because he ain't really one of us. Now, you take the real fucking McCoy. Hey. And my PO says, hey, go to those meetings and get that paper signed. So I go to these meetings. I hear Fred share. I think it sounds good. I don't fucking know nothing about nothing anyway. But I know I'm supposed to get a damn sponsor. So after the meeting, I go up to Fred. I go, hey, bro, I got to get a sponsor. Would you sponsor me? And Fred goes, fuck, I'd love to. Because ain't nobody ever fucking asked me. I go, okay, what do I do? Fred says, just keep coming back until the miracle happens. And I go, okay, fuck, sounds easy enough for me. So I keep coming back to these dams, and the whole time, guess what's coming at me? About the 6-month mark, I'm so fucking irritable, so restless, and so discontented, I would give anything to take a half a dozen drinks and get away with them. So guess what I do? And when I put the first one in, it's on. When I come up for air, you know what I say? That fucking AA shit don't work. That's what I say. See, how many of y'all, I'm telling you, one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of y'all make. Y'all go to these meetings and y'all get hooked up with some jackasses who know nothing about nothing. If you got this obsession, if you just go to those meetings, you're keeping the obsession. Now, let's say you get out of here and you sort of do what we say. Watch this shit. Watch. We tell you to go to meetings, get A, and do the damn steps. Now, the difference between this place and a lot of other ones, when you get out of here and go to meetings, you're gonna know enough about the program to know if somebody's a good sponsor or you're gonna know that. And some of y'all, knowing that, will go get somebody you know don't know much about this, so they won't ask you to do much. So you can say, I'll have a sponsor. Now, the solution. Part of it is going to the meeting. Do not get me wrong. Are the meetings necessary? They are if I'm doing some step work. Now, a lot of people, if you ask them, where's the fellowship? They go meetings. Which is right. But when you ask them, well, hey, where's the program of AA? If somebody asked you that, what would you say? What? No, Woodlake Education.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Fellowship and the 12 steps.
Yeah, but where are the steps? Huh? Okay, where?
First 103 pages.
Well, you pulled that one out the rear end, didn't you?
Got it from my neighbor.
But the directions for these steps are in the first 103 pages of the book. How many of y'all, when y'all come in here, y'all look at this board and you look at this board and you go, how many of y'all know that the steps are for the individual? The traditions are for the group. See, those over there are the traditions. That's the steps groups take. The steps, this is for the individual. Now, is the fellowship important? Yeah, it's real important if you're doing step work. Now, this is what the fellowship does. It supports me. This is what the steps do. They change me. Now, where the steps do all their work, between this ear and this ear. And it's a good thing, because the main problem for you centers in this ear and this ear. The steps work on this box right here. Every time you put the first one in, does that thought come from your fucking little toe? Or from this box? The same box that tells you to put the first one in, we're going to start to change that. Now, if you put these together, I mean, really put them together, a good balance. You're going to get some shit that's unshakable. Look, since I've been in this program, I've had more shit happen to me than I did when I was using. And I had a lot of shit happen to me when I was fucking using. In a matter of about 18 months, I lost my nephew. He was a Baton Rouge firefighter. He drowned. Took about a month to fucking find him. A couple of months later, my mother passed. My sister, my brother. I'm diagnosed with cancer. And not one time did I say, nice, because I was gone. You know what I kept saying? Man, I really appreciate you waiting to throw this shit on me when I was really tapped into your ass. How many of y'all in here? The least little thing that happens to you, you fold, and you fold like a house of cards. It's just over with. But if I asked some of y'all over here if y'all were real men, you would go, well, yeah. You'd be highly offended if I asked you that question, some of y'all. You a man? What's a man to you?
Man, somebody who strong will, not just physically, but mentally.
Now that's fucking what they teach you in Hollywood. You a man?
I agree.
Well, then that's not a man. Look, when somebody asked you if you were a man, most of us would go, yeah. Look, I guarantee you, if we were standing up here talking to 4 or 5 good-looking girls, I'd say, hey, you a man? What would you say? You would say, yeah, but not a good one. Look, how many of y'all's idea about what a man is not what you really did? Look, a man, do they take care of their family? Huh? Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, right? Do you do that? Do you do that? Do you do that? See, how many of y'all think y'all something that you really ain't? And when people call you out on your shit, you go, oh. Look, when people would tell me the truth about myself, I did not like it. Because I knew what they were telling me. I knew it. Now, how many of y'all see more than 2 choices on this board? Look, anybody who thinks they got a bunch of decisions to make when they come in here hadn't seen the truth yet. You actually have 2 choices. You can stay as you are, or you can seek this. Now, the way the steps are laid out, in step 1, they give you. Step 2, they give you. And in step 3, they say, hey, you got to make a decision. Time to quit passing around. It's time to make the decision. Now, this is your 2 choices in this decision. Remain as you are or seek this. Look, if you decide you want to come over here, you got to be all in. Because if you stay here, you're going to be all in. Now, how many of y'all see more than 2 choices up there? And how many of y'all, when y'all come in here, you think you got a bunch of decisions to make? A kid back. Fuck you, the reason they lost. I got to get a job. Like money has ever fucking helped you. Got to get the PO off my ass. Got to get a phone. You come in here and it's like all of a sudden you got more fucking business than the president. It's amazing to watch one of us. Look, that first time I went to treatment, the whole time in here I'm thinking, trying to arrange life to suit myself. I gotta get this, gotta go do this. I gotta. Okay, look up here. He's just walking. Look up here. The second time I'm sitting in here, I'm going, dude, you got 2 choices. And you don't like either one. I'm either going to remain here or I'm coming over here. Now, do you think I got over here because I'm a good guy? I'm different than you? I saw the truth for fucking once. And look, I really believe a little window opens up for somebody like me, a little glimpse of the truth, and it shuts real quick. And when that little window opened up, I saw it. I went, if I do not get over here, I can kiss the daughters, my freedom, my family. Anything I ever held near and dear to me, I can kiss it back. Now, the ones of us who make a mess out of shit over here, when we come over here, a lot of us, guess what gets reassembled? The family. Guess what we start making? Guess what starts falling in our lap? Everything we ever wanted. And the crazy shit is, this is all I had to do. You know, I used to sit in those two treatment centers, and I would go, yeah, fuck, I really can't see that happening for me as fucking much of a mess as I've made. How many of y'all? Come on, how many of y'all thinking that? Look, I'm telling you, when I came in here, I had made a mess out of shit. A mess. And I didn't think I would ever be where I'm at today. And look, you could take the financial part away. It'd be tough, but you could take it away. You could take some other things away. Well, what I got more than anything, and you can't put a price on it, is between this here and this here. And I walk around and I feel like I always did when I put one in. And the fucking shit's free. It's free. I can get it 24/7. Natural high. Every time. No, it ain't no natural high. It's this. Oh. And look, when somebody knows they got it, it's like, hey. And if you gotta think you got it or believe you might have it or you could get, you ain't got it yet. And look, it's not really hard to explain to somebody who's got it. But for somebody who ain't got it, it's sort of hard to get you to see what it'll do. But see, if I could get you to see about this power before you got it, we'd have a 100% success rate here. Now, they gave me step 1. They gave me step 2, and they said decide which one you want more. Now, I'm looking at these 2 choices I got, and I really don't like either one. But I'm sitting here and I'm going, there ain't a doubt in my mind, those facts are going to get me. I don't want that. So, let me see about facts number. I don't really know about that. So I made the step 3 decision. And all it was, I think I would be better off here than there. Somebody that believes that strong enough, what they will do, they will carry out the decision they just made by taking some rigorous action steps. And those steps are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and
9.
Now, I am not going to blow smoke up your fucking ass. You do that well enough. Anybody who starts taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 is going to fix and do some shit they don't want to do. And people who don't take these action steps are fixing to do some shit they really don't want to do. So guess what you fixing to do? That's right. You just gotta figure out, do you wanna do it here or here? Now, for a while, you say you don't wanna do those things here, right?
Every time I stand up, huh?
Right? Well, fuck, sit down. Every time, you don't wanna do those things over here, right? So you come over here, right? And this fucking sort of bores your ass and you don't wanna do these things. So you go back. Yeah, it's like you go, bam, 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 bam. And one day it's gonna go bam, stay. You may not have those two choices anymore. Now, I knew you'd sit down. Step 3. Look, I want you to check this out. We're fixing to wrap this up, okay? Stay with me. I'm gonna let y'all go smoke about 10 cigarettes. Stay with me. Look, does anything happen in step 1? Who says yes? Who says no? Who don't have a fucking clue? Okay, look, nothing happens in step 1. Nothing. We just give you some. Does anything happen in 2?
No.
No, we just give you some more. Does anything happen in 3?
Yes.
No, you just make a decision. Look, steps, yoo-hoo. Steps 1, 2, and 3 are like this. Get ready, get set, go. Nothing happens until you start taking the action steps. And most treatment centers say they get you to step 3 and they put you out the door. So actually nothing has happened. You do some fucking assignments and talk about. Now, you ready to do some work?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we say. When somebody does that, the way the book says, what they tap into is that. And when they actually do some 4 through 9 and tap into some real power, guess what they want?
More.
All right. And that's where nobody could keep them from doing. Because every time I do that, I tap into that power deeper, 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 and I get so tapped in, it ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. How many of y'all, when y'all wake up in the morning, you go, oh, fuck, I'm up. When my eyes pop open in the morning, I go, yeah. Comments? Questions? You guys get it, pack up, head out the doors. We'll talk later. Pull your damn pants up. Nobody won't see your damn nasty drawers. You leave? I'll talk to you.
Okay. Okay. Burn one.